No shade, no shade, no shade. So don't come for me. I don't know how y'all be sourcing at the regular stores. I don't know how y'all do it. I cannot. You know, when sales are not that great, you got to be a little bit nicer. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps and I resell clothes and shit. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a good old what sold video. I'm going to be talking about some sales that sold June 2nd all the way up into June 8th. So let's just jump in. The first thing to sell on Monday was actually this men's Lululemon t-shirt. I had this one for a while. I definitely want to say over the summer, but it finally sold for my full asking price. So we love that. The next one is this Free People women's like bodysuit top. Also another piece that I've had over 6 months. Bodysuits are just really not the it girl. So I do stay away from them unless it's like a few factors as to why I should pick it up. But yeah, definitely a piece that took a while. The next one is this Masuk cardigan jacket situation. This one was a really fast flip. I sold this one within like a week of me listing it. The next one is this Reformations women's sweater. This was definitely just like a brand-based pickup. Reformation is really known for their dresses, not their sweaters or their denim. So I would say be smart if you decide to get it. I did pick this up at the bin, so I had no problem. But this one did take over 6 months to sell. The next one is this Easel women's top. This one took under about 3 months to sell. I picked this up with the notion that I plan on using those keywords for 4th of July, and I was really happy that this one went on and sold before I had to, you know, keep it for another year. The next one is this Y2K Candies maxi skirt. For some reason, like brown maxi skirts do amazing, especially if they're tiered or embroidered, they perform amazingly. This one took within a few days to sell, so it was a very fast turnaround on that one. The next one was this Anthropologie women's like maxi dress. I sourced this one and I didn't want to sit on it for a while, so I did price it much lower than I typically would. Anthropologie is becoming one of those brands that is like slowly declining. So whatever you pick up, it either needs to be sought after or like super new in order to get a good price point for it. All right, the next one was this bundle set of Ralph Lauren women's silk trouser pants. These all were sourced the same day. I believe I found a pair of linen ones. I found a pair of wool ones. The linen ones sold fairly quickly. The wool, I believe I still have. And then I lotted these up. I personally feel like lotting similar items together is like a really smart thing to do. So I went on and did that. A few people did ask me, could I sell them separately? I told them no. And I did price them at $65. And I just thought that that was a really good price point for them because, again, since they're trousers, you're going to be wearing these to work, and they're all the exact same, you know, style, same fabric content, different colors, but I know that I wanted to get a decent price point for it. And then the last thing to sell on Monday was actually this Charters Club women like open front cardigan. This one was kind of like a color block moment. It was a cashmere piece, so that's why I do believe it, you know, flipped decently. And surprisingly, it did sell in the middle of like that spring summer transition, which is always interesting because people are so quick to say,
I sell winter jackets in spring and summer.
And it's like, me too, we all do, but you're not selling them like on a grand scale. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it is what it is though. We all do different things for our business. All right, so on Tuesday, the very first thing to sell was actually this Free People kimono top. So this one did sell on Depop. The only reason why I cross-listed this one to Depop is because it was a kind of like a style-based keyword stuffed top that I knew when I picked it up, like, yeah, Free People is a great brand, but I know that with the right keywords, I'm still going to be able to sell this. So yeah, this person did, I believe they sent me an offer. I accepted it. And then they said, hey, could you hold this for me until Friday? Now, I don't do holds, but I told her yes. And I did nothing. I still had it listed across all of my platforms. I didn't change the price. I didn't do anything. I just left it as it is. And then she, oddly enough, came back and sent me an offer, and I accepted it, and it actually sold. So that one was actually pretty shocking. Y'all know when people ask for a hold, they tend to forget. All right, this next one was a style-based pickup. I did pick this one up, I want to say like in the fall. But this one was a Jessica Simpson women's like, you know, maxi dress. It was new with tags. It was a larger size. So I thought with the right factors and the right keywords, I could move it. And this one did sell for $25. Jessica Simpson is not a brand that I pick up. Every time I do pick it up, it's really like style base heavy or size heavy versus me just picking it up because it's Jessica Simpson, you know. Let me know if you pick up Jessica Simpson just off the whim. And if you do, how does it perform and what actually sells from the brand? The next one is this Express women's linen jacket. I got somebody on Poshmark that just kept sending me like $15 offers, and I'm just like, girl, relax. Because one, this one was linen. It was a current style. It was up to date. Like it had all of the factors going for it. I did not price it that high. I wanted about $30 for it, but I was running a sale on my eBay just to kind of like, you know, keep it moving. And yeah, this one sold for $25. The next one is this Tabitha Brown Target dress. This one did have a linen blend to it, and I sold this exact dress before. It was also plus size, and I think I sold it for the exact same price point. I didn't want to price this one high just because I didn't want to sit on it too long. So even though, you know, it was new, it's still a Target brand, and I just didn't want to wait forever and a day for it to sell. All right, so the next one is this CP Shades dress. This one did sell for $93, which I was really happy for. Since it was a larger size, it was cotton and silk. I just feel like with the right factors, I could definitely get a lot more for it. So I did price it over $100. And again, I did, you know, have a sale running on my eBay store. So they did get a pretty good discount for it. The next one is a pair of 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂 pants. They have like a certain type of fabric. I believe it's actually acrylic, if I'm not mistaken, that they have specifically for, you know, their brand. In my opinion, it feels similar to if, you know, St. John and Chico Travelers had a baby. It's like that slick, you know, stretchy knit feel. It's, you can, I feel like I'd be able to, you know, tell a 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂 piece any day. All right, so yeah, that one did sell for $30, which was probably an offer that my bot sent them. The next one is this Chico's women button-down linen top. I actually sourced this over the summer, so this one took a very long time to sell. Chico's linen is a pretty hard sell, I'll be honest. So yeah, I've picked it up quite a few times because it is linen, but you know, be prepared to sit on it unless you price it at like $15. All right, the next one is this Nike Pro men's like combat padded shirt. This person actually messaged me, was like, hey, could you do 15? At the time, you know, sales were slow, so I was like, of course. So I dropped the price down and he actually purchased it. All right, so moving on to Wednesday. This is June 4th sales. This one is a Isaac Mizrahi women's cover-up dress. I actually remember picking this up and I checked the sell-through rate on it, and it was, I want to say like at 30%, but at the time that I checked the sell-through rate, it was winter time. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm sure it's going to get better. And this one did perform, so it didn't take that long to sell because I sourced it in like probably November, December, and it finally sold. This one is a Kokomo women's top. They are also known for like this slinky, you know, stretchy material. I would highly suggest you look into what you were picking up and the size you were picking up, because it could sit for a while or it could flip quickly. This one actually flipped pretty quickly, so I was really happy about that. The next one is this Allie Miles top. I got a lot of attention on this one on eBay, and you already know I run sales now. Before I'd never ran sales, but I run sales and the price point had dropped down to like $25. They still was just watching it, wouldn't purchase, but my bot sent them an offer on Poshmark and they actually purchased it, so I was really happy about that. So that one did sell for $30. Allie Miles has definitely declined, but I feel like with the right, you know, piece and the right size, you can definitely get a decent amount for it. It used to flip for like, you know, $30 to $40, but now we're talking about $25 to $30 if you're lucky, you know. All right, so the next thing to sell was this men's 𝕃𝕂. I want to say that's how you pronounce it. Button down top. This one was new with tags, and it had like a nice little funky design to it. So that's what made me, go ahead and pick it up. And I've actually sold this brand quite a few times. I think I'm going to start adding this to my list of things to look into, especially for the style and the fact that, if it's new with tags, the size as well. And yeah, this one was corduroy, so that also helped push the sell through. The next one is this CNC California 100% linen top. I wanted to keep this so bad, but I could not fit it. It was so stinking cute. This one did take a little while to sell. I think I actually sourced this over, no, not the summer, like the fall. So like September, October, I picked this one up. And I should not have listed it then because we were transitioning. And that's why I am so heavy on seasonally listing items versus not. Because I listed this in a transitional period and look, it didn't sell until we reached the season that it was supposed to sell in. All right, the next one is actually this women's LL Bean t-shirt. I just thought this one was just really cute. LL Bean has become like a bread and butter brand for me, so I knew that this one was gonna sell. I didn't know that it was gonna sell for my full asking price, but I'm very grateful. And moving on to the next day, which is Thursday. This one is a pair of convertible Columbia pants. This one had a few factors as to why I picked it up. It was a larger size and they were convertible. Columbia is just not a brand that I pick up. I don't care what it is. I don't care anything about it. It's just the hardest sell because it is completely oversaturated. So I am extremely mindful at what I pick up and how I price it. This one did go for my full asking price of $25 though. This next piece was a experimental piece. Yeah, it actually had quite a bit of attention on it. But at the time, I feel like last week was just like a slower week for sales. So I didn't want to lose out on sales for just a couple of more dollars. So I ended up accepting their $18 offer, but realistically, $25 was my lowest. All right, the next one was from a brand called Happily Gray. I picked this up because it looked very similar to the Aerie like women's crisscross pants. This one also had like cargo pockets to it. So I'm just like, okay, that adds a little bit more. I got home and I did a little bit of research and I had noticed that it was from a brand called Happily Gray. Now this one did go for my full asking price, which I was happy about. This buyer did message me, I believe on Sunday, and was like, please ship soon. And it took everything in me to not be rude. So I said, yeah, I'll be shipping it tomorrow. So, when sales are not that great, you got to be a little bit nicer. The next thing to sell was this pair of 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂 men's seersucker shorts. I did also have to look into the style and the size to make sure that I'll be able to get to move this one because you already know how it goes. Like some pieces just will not sell. And I believe the seersucker in that size and 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂 was doing well. So that one did sell on an offer to likers. The next one is actually from a brand called Forever That Girl, which is from 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂. This has become like one of my favorites from this brand. I think I've sold it like 2 or 3 times and it always flips for a decent amount and within a good time frame. So I love to source it when I see it. The next one was a style-based pickup. It is from Universal Thread. This one did sell for $18. Honestly, it was the patchwork and the colors, the floral and the paisley design to it, and the fact that it was a maxi style. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that one. And that one only took maybe like 3 weeks to sell. So it was a really quick turnaround. Anyways, the next one is this Lands' End women's dress. Again, another piece that I had to look into the brand and the size. This one was actually like a really good style as well. It was like a terry cloth embossed, like, cover up dress. And it was a really good size. I didn't price it high because I didn't want to sit on it for a while because I believe the pieces that I saw listed were not moving. But I knew that I wanted to take it home and I knew that I could sell it, but I just wanted to validate myself by pricing and get much lower so I can get it out the door. All right, so this next one is a new to me brand called Grade and Gather. This one was a maxi dress. Honestly, this tag looked like it's really worth looking into, but when I checked the comps, they weren't the best, but they weren't terrible. So I went on and got it just because it was a maxi dress. That one didn't take long to sell. We're talking maybe 6 weeks. The next one is actually a pair of Lululemon pants. Every time I find these at the bins, I pick it up. I don't really care for them at a regular thrift store because they mark them up, but at the bins, yes. This one was a pretty quick turnaround, and I believe these sold for my full asking price, so we love that. All right, so the next one is this Madewell top. This is actually a brand that I stopped picking up. It has to be factors on factors on factors. But yeah, like I was trying to say before, my body just really interrupted me. Madewell is just one of those brands where it just has to be amazing for me to pick it up. I even noticed that when I go to, update my books weekly, I notice when I have to look for the item that's sold, I only have 2 Madewell pieces in my new inventory, which is everything that I've sourced since January of 2025. Everything else is from, last year. I don't pick it up. I vet it so much more just because it could be a waste of time, no matter what size you pick up. So yeah, Madewell is just not on my radar anymore. And I come across it so much at the bins, I don't even look into it anymore just because it doesn't flip. All right, moving on. The next one was this CP Shades maxi skirt. Now, unfortunately for this one was a vintage CP Shades, and I believe the waistband was kind of stretched. So instead of me not taking it home, I just measured it and I placed it at a 2X because that's what it was giving. All right, next one is this Jennifer and Grace top. I actually recently sold this exact top in a different colorway, so I was really happy that this one sold. This is a style from this brand that sells really well. So when I looked into this brand, because I do come across it, quite a few times at the bins, I noticed that this specific eyelet detail style is the one that sells best within the brand. So if you see that style in any colorway, any size, I would pick it up. You'll get about $20-25 for it, depending on the size. The next one is this Restoration Hardware fleece robe. I have went back and forth with picking this up just because it was a fleece robe and we're moving into summer. However, this is more of an indoor piece and we already know the ACs are running. So I went on and grabbed it, and Restoration Hardware robes do really well. I didn't price mine high because I did want it to move, so yeah. I think that's something to always look into when you are checking the comps and the sell-through rate. This one was a size large, so I specifically looked up, Restoration Hardware size large, chocolate brown robe, and then I saw what everybody's price points was, and then I said, let me go look at what the sold price points was, and I'm like, you know what, I think $28 would be a really good one, and yeah, this one sold within a few weeks, so it was a pretty quick turnaround. All right, moving on to the next day, which is Saturday. This one was a really cute midi skirt that I picked up. I remember hauling this for y'all, and I was so excited when I found it because I'm just like, oh, it's so stinking cute. It's embroidered. It's 100% silk. Unfortunately, when I got to the photographing process, I noticed quite a few flaws. So I did not get to get the amount that I wanted for it, but I did sell it for $26. So pretty happy with that. The next one is a pearl snap top from a brand called Cumberland Outfitters. I specifically looked at this brand with the size to make sure I was going to be able to sell it, and yeah, this one didn't take long to sell at all, definitely under a month. The next one was a style-based pickup, and I was so happy when I found it because I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, this one is giving the girls what they actually want, but this one was from a brand called Colors Artwear. This is my second time sourcing the brand, and I noticed that they are very funky and very eclectic style pickups. This one was super cute. I probably could have got a lot more for it, but I did run a 30% off sale on my Depop store, so that's where these 2 sales came from. I ran a 30% off flash sale, and I did make those sales. But yeah, super cute piece. I think that one also sold for $26 or $28. Yeah, I could have priced it higher, but again, you already know how it goes. All right, the next one is from a brand called Chic Soul. I only picked this up because of the style and the fact that it was a 3X. Yeah, let me know if you sell that brand and how it performs for you. This next one was a bundle sale. This one I picked up and I saw that the comps weren't that good, the sell-through rate wasn't that good, so I decided to bundle them, and yeah, this one finally sold for $30. The next one is a pair of Chico's pull-on pants. I actually do really well with these, but I don't pick them up anymore. This one took a very long time to sell. I think I actually took these photos when I still live with my sister. So these are very, very, very old. When I was coming out of postpartum, these were the pants that I was wearing because they kind of were exactly like how the Democracy and the Wit and Wisdom pants were, where they have that elastic waistband. They're actually really comfortable. Just felt kind of odd wearing Chico's pants, and I'm in my early 30s, but no shade, no shade, no shade. So don't come for me. All right, moving on to the last day, which is Sunday. This one was a style-based pickup. It was just kind of like this crochet knit cardigan top. This one did sell for $18. The next one is from a brand called Moonlight YS Fashion. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, I typically stay away from any type of label that says fashion in it. Unfortunately, this one was a size small, so I did have to price it much lower than it was actually worth. You already know I like to include price into my, listing process because I do feel like it will affect the item. All right, the next one is this Democracy pair of like camo pants. I would never pick these up again. These are like a capri style. These took a while to sell. So yeah, definitely wouldn't recommend grabbing that. The next one is this Tommy Bahama dress. I actually picked this up with y'all in a reseller vlog, and it was the vlog that I had with my son. I paid almost $9 for this. So yeah, I think when I did my books, my profit was like $21. So I don't know how y'all be sourcing at the regular stores. I don't know how y'all do it. I cannot. It just deeply cut into my profits. Anyways, the next one is a style-based pickup. This one was just like a cute little Y2K cami moment, and it was a extra large. It was animal print. The animal print kind of threw me off because I'm like, I don't know if the girls are still wearing this. However, I said it's an extra large. It's cute. Go ahead and get it. And I'm glad I did because this one didn't take long to sell. I didn't even get the chance to actually put this into my inventory system because it sold so fast. So pretty quick turnaround there. The next one is from a brand called Match Point. I've been finding a lot of this brand at the bins, and I do pick it up because they're always 100% linen. You already know linen is a really good fabric content for this season. The next one was a new to me brand called Creole Colors. I remember listing this, I want to say maybe like 2 months ago, and I got immediate lowball offers on it, and I decided to not go with those, low vibrational, buyers. So I ended up waiting, and this one did sell for $26. So this was a new to me brand. The style was really cute. This one is a kids brand, so I would suggest you look into it. I think at the time when I looked into it, the comps were really good, but the sell-through rate wasn't. And again, I was looking in the middle of winter, so I had to make a pretty good, judgment there. And yeah, pretty happy that that one flipped. This one I've had for a while. This is a Max Studio 100% silk dress. Honestly, I think I did not pin it correctly on my model, and then you can also not tell that it's like a brown colorway. So yeah, I was probably taking that photo when it was probably like raining outside or something, where it was really gloomy. But yeah, this one only sold for $28. I feel like with it being silk, it was vintage, and I definitely think I paired the right keywords, and it still didn't go for much. So we don't love that. Okay, this one is a Lucky Brand Men Venice Burnout. I believe I literally just hauled this for y'all, and the other one turned around and flipped. I think this is the one, if I'm not mistaken, because I had already had one in my closet, and then I brought that one in. So I technically had like 3 of this exact same color, and they've been selling in order. So I thought it was kind of funny that I was complaining about finding the exact same color, the exact same size, and then it flipping as quickly as it did. So this is a specific style that men just enjoy wearing. I've been able to sell this for like the past 3 years. Consistently this year, or I guess it would be last summer, I sold a lot, like 4 or 5 of them. And then trending right now, I done sold like 3 of them. So I don't know. It's pretty good thing to pick up. I do pick it up in all sizes. I don't discriminate, okay? All sizes, all colors. Now, I would say be mindful of any type of flaws, because a lot of the time they will have, a spot or 2, some pilling, but you can kind of tell, what's been washed a lot and what hasn't. The next one is from a brand called Porter and Ash. These are just a pair of men's shorts. These were 100% linen, so that's the only reason why I looked into it. And the comps were around the price point that I was okay with. The sell-through rate, not so much, but I just knew I'd have to price mine a little bit lower to get mine to move, and they did sell. So I was really happy about that. Only for $16, but a sale is a sale, okay? The last thing to sell on Sunday was this Pendleton women's full zip virgin wool jacket. It's like a vest situation. Pendleton has definitely like fallen off completely for me. So I am very intentional with that price point. So I did not price this high. And yeah, pretty happy that it did sell though. But that is it. Those are all of my sales for last week. Let me know in the comments below how your sales have been so far in the month of June. Mine have been a little shaky, which I find kind of odd because last year in June, my sales were really good. So we gonna see, you know, summer slowdown is slowly approaching. I know there is a video in the Resellers Edge University that unfortunately is not free, but she gave quite a bit of tips, and one of them that I took that I feel like would work for me and my business and my business model is just bumping up my listings. So for the month of June, I have bumped up my listings from 15 to 18. So that's an additional 12 a week, which may not hit a dent, but I feel like it will just kind of like keep me afloat. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for everybody because we all got different business models. And I know this is definitely not an ad, but I do have a link down below if you want to try out Resellers Edge and you kind of want to figure out and see about all the tips that they gave that you could do to combat summer slowdown. So yeah, actually it was a few that I took, but I don't plan on implementing the other ones until July. So we'll see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.